Studying abroad is not just about academia, jobs, and careers, but much more, like being independent, personality development, making friends globally, learning about different cultures, traveling, and many more enriching, unforgettable experiences. Hook on to our episodes of Student Spotlight and get fruitful insights about our students who share their beautiful journeys with you. So today we have Darshan with us, who is from Sirohi, Rajasthan. He's currently doing his Masters in Public Administration at University College London and has secured a full scholarship through an initiative by Government of Rajasthan. He not only gets his tuition fees paid, but also money for his living expenses and accommodation. So let's hear from him about his journey so far and how he cracked his scholarship.
Hi everyone. My name is Darshan and I was born in Sirohi district of Rajasthan. I was brought up in Mumbai. Completed my undergrad in commerce from HR College of Commerce and Economics in Mumbai, and after that I worked for a few years, like 1.5 years in a deep tech company at the intersection of, you can say, strategy, policy, and technology. Very interesting time, great learning, and yeah, so now I'm here pursuing my Masters in Public Administration in Innovation and Public Value. It's under the Department of Bartlett, which is world's #1 department when it comes to sustainability and design studies. Under that, my institute is called Institute for Innovation and Public Purpose, IIPP. So also doing reformative work in terms of like the new economic thinking and what should be the new public sector leaders should be. So we're kind of rethinking the whole public administration studies and public administration theories. Yeah. So here I am right now. Here's my story.
Okay, great. So tell us, how did you get into UCL? What was the hack that you had? How were you as a student? How much did you score in your 10th, 12th? What board was it? And you studied in HR in Mumbai, which again is a very reputed institute. How much did you score? And how was your journey to applying to UCL?
Okay. So I think my story is like pretty unique and like I would say a kind of an outlier story. In terms of school, I was always like kind of an all-rounder on a very active student. Not so much into academics, but like the people say in the terms of cricket that agar ball loose dikhti hai to chakka maro.
Correct.
So वैसे ही 10th standard was like the loose ball or like the important ball, right?
Right.
Or the important over for me.
Right.
So it's like school life में पूरे मजे करो, बहुत मजे किए.
Right.
But when 10th standard was there, I was like, oh, now we have to study, right? So yeah, studied hard. Fortunately, got a good mentor, good guru. My tutor, Devang sir, like he was my tutor and he motivated us and especially me and my group of my students. So by grace of his blessings and by grace of his like mentorship, I scored well. I scored 92%. And
so what board was it?
It was in 10th board.
Okay.
And so for students who are based in Mumbai and Maharashtra,
the SSC board?
Yeah, SSC board and 10th board is one of the most important because that lays the foundation for you to go to the colleges.
Correct.
The colleges start from 11th grade and not from the 13th grade like it is for the other places in India.
Right.
So 10th becomes an important role for you.
Right.
So yeah, then cracked that. So I scored 92%, but even after scoring 92%, I didn't got into HR. I had to wait for almost a month and I had to take the sports quota route. I was a boxer in my school days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was like 3 times district level champion.
Right.
Didn't go to states because of 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had few certificates. So I managed my way through HR college and somehow tried to convince the management of the HR college that I will provide some value.
So then you went on doing 12th in HR as well?
Yeah. So
commerce.
Yeah. So I completed my 5 years at HR college.
Oh, nice.
Completed my 11th, 12th grade and then my BCom bachelor's as well.
Okay. So you did your BCom. So
BCom,
commerce.
yeah,
right? How much did you score, if you don't mind me asking?
Not very great with academics. So always been an extracurricular person.
Right.
So not very great with academics. So I scored around 6.5 CGPA out of 10.
Okay.
So I was the kind of person who would ask his friend 2 days before the exam, hey, kaun sa paper hai parso?
Right. So how and when did you think of coming to UK to study, and when did you decide you want to go to UCL? Which universities did you apply? Any highlights on those?
Yes. So initially, my journey has been kind of you can say an exploration journey. And firstly, I wanted to do a management masters, and so for that I was preparing for my GRE exams and stuff like that. But somehow I felt so there were 2 options in front of me. So it's like when you're doing a management masters, you'll be working with a private sector company, and like, so you are there optimizing for what people say the bottom line of a company, of a bottom line of a private organization. That is, you're optimizing for profits, you're optimizing for growth, stuff like that. So I had two options in front of me. Like, either you can optimize for bottom line of a private organization, or you build solution for the bottom of the pyramid. So, it's like the bottom of the pyramid means
Correct.
like the people who are the disadvantaged community all across the world.
Correct.
So how can you build innovative solution for the bottom of the pyramid? So that's where I would say I made that choice. Whether I want to continue. In terms of HR college, I started as a volunteer in an organization called Enactus HR College. It's a global social entrepreneurship organization, youth-led social entrepreneurship organization, where they work at the intersection of academia, students, and industry, and build some innovative solution which could empower the disadvantaged society in an entrepreneurial way.
Okay.
So not
Right.
giving a fish, but learning them teaching them how to catch a fish, and making sure that they have some sustainable solution with that.
Right.
So my impact journey started with that.
Okay.
Started as a volunteer, then led a team of more than 80 change makers. I call them change makers. I call
Wow,
my
that's
each
nice.
member of my team as change makers as a
Okay.
president.
Okay.
So one of the project was recognized by the World Water Race as the one of the top 12 innovation in the world.
Okay.
So that's how my impact journey started. So I was
Okay.
like figure out that what would be the right degree for me, and then I will apply for master. So that one key suggestion I would give from your platform to students is that if you're not sure about what you want to do, so do take a year or two, work on the areas which you're interested in, and maybe figure out that what are the things which are not right for you and things which are right for you.
Correct.
Then you will have more clarity, and then you will have more precise understanding of that. What do you want to take out of that masters?
Correct. Correct.
So you have
And
better
again,
understanding.
like they say, masters is like your last chance to pivot your career in academia. You can also go for PhD, but it's always wiser to, like you said, wait for a couple of years if you're not sure, take a gap, work,
Yeah.
understand how the work culture is, what you like more, and then step into, a kind of area that you're more interested in.
Exactly.
Is that so how did you get into UCL? Did you just apply for UCL, and was this course that attracted you a lot, or did you apply to other universities, other countries as well?
Certainly. So again, public administration or the development sector masters since a while. So yeah, this course was the most unique one and stood out among the rest because all other courses were the same. Theories have been taught, like the same masters at Howard Kennedy School. They have been running their masters since like 15-20 years. It's 2-year masters. There was a master's at LSE, again 2 years, and lot of economics focus and academia focus. But this master's at UCL at IIPP. So many people like institutions like LSE or like institutions like other LSE, they're necessarily teaching that what is economics and how a state should function. But what I'm learning here is that what is wrong in economics and what should be the new thinking in the economic space.
Correct. Right.
And what should be the new models of how public administration or public leaders should tackle the issues.
So I remember speaking to someone from LSE, even they have a master's in public administration.
Yeah, it's a 2-year master.
And it's a 2 years master's, yes. So you went through the modules and the structure for that as well.
Yeah.
But you thought for you this one was better than that?
Yeah. So the unique part is that in my MPA program, it is a unique mix of design thinking. It's a unique mix of design thinking, sociology, systems thinking, economics, of course, and
Right.
how to infuse creativity in bureaucracy.
Okay.
So for me, in my program, I'm very fortunate to being like taught by some of the brilliant minds
Mm-hmm.
across the field.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I have been taught by like professors who have taught at Howard Kennedy School for 7-8 years, who are teaching at Oxford for 3-8 years, the business school, and they're teaching at my course as well.
Okay.
So a mix of like people who are coming from. So there's also Mr. Mike Brecken, who teaches on digital transformation. So he has been head of like I think GDS and one of the very respected brains in the digital transformation sector.
Right.
So these professors are not just academia based. My course had a unique mix of professors who are from academia as well, but were also practitioners as well. So they have
Right.
like advised head of states and prime ministers from 3 to 8 nations across the world. So
Okay.
Mariana Mazzucato, one of our founding member of our institute, is a very well known and one of the world's important voice in the economic in the innovation policy space.
Right.
So she has been advising many nations and head of states across the world.
Right.
So a lot of practitioners. So for example, I had a unique opportunity to
Diverse and matured as well.
For example, if you see in the Indian in the major UK programs, Indians and the Chinese are the highest number of students, right?
Correct.
In any cohort.
Correct.
But in my cohort, fortunately or unfortunately maybe, there are only two Indian students. Myself and one more.
So how many students you are there?
So the whole cohort are like 78 students, 75 to 78 students.
Right.
And out of that, there are two Indians.
Okay.
Two Chinese maybe. I think one or two Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
But a great mix of students.
It shows,
yeah,
right?
Latin
Because
America,
if you remove
Cyprus,
like only 5 students out of 78, it literally shows how the diversity
is. Yeah, and it's purely international and like the cohort is very rich. Like the average, they worked for 3, 4, 5 years in different domains. Someone is lawyer, someone is a doctor, and someone like there was an ex-student who served in US military or not US Air Force. So yeah, so the amount of diversity and the perspective they bring in, it's amazing. It's next level.
Nice, good. So tell us more about your scholarship, right? You mentioned you have a fully funded scholarship. You didn't have to pay any fees, is it?
No, so
So how did it work?
So the scholarship is the RGS scholarship. So what happens is that they.
Sorry, what is RGS?
So it's Rajiv Gandhi scholarship.
Okay.
But now they have changed the name.
Okay.
It's called Swami Vivekananda scholarship.
Okay.
So I was looking at scholarship, different scholarship is. They fund 100% of your tuition.
Okay.
And after that, they also give you living expenses as £1,000 per month.
Oh wow, that's
nice.
Yeah.
So the criteria is that twofold criteria. That they first check your income level. That they are making sure that you're not coming from a very privileged background. That okay, you have like sources of funding,
but still
but still you're asking for it. That doesn't make sense, right?
Correct.
So that doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
So that is the first filter. And the second filter is that we check your, I think, the QS ranking of the institution.
Right.
How well reputed the institution is. The higher ranking of the institution, the higher the chances of you getting a scholarship.
Correct.
So these were the major parameters.
So you first secured an offer from UCL.
Yeah.
And then you applied for the scholarship against it. Okay.
Yes.
How did you crack UCL? Any tips? Like what helped you crack UCL? Because again, it's a very reputed organization. And
I'm not sure. So there's a concept of like there's a mental model of one of our mentors. Like he like his idea that building a category of one, building your own category of one. Right? So yeah, like it's more about figuring out that what are your unique skill set, what are your unique mission, and what is that unique thing which you want to do. And if you combine those 2-3 things together, then you build you would say a category of one. And that category of one, when you build that helps you get access to meaningful opportunities, be it academic opportunities like masters or be it job opportunities, something like that. So you won't believe, but mine, like I people spend approximately 3 to 4 months in just for building their
statement of purpose.
But
Okay.
you won't believe that I actually wrote my statement of purpose in a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So what happens was my LORs in a week's time, and the best thing about UCL is one of the most student-friendly universities.
Okay.
Across the world, I would say.
Right.
So I would just mail them. I was like, I'm submitting all the documents and everything, but I would just need a 7-day period for my LORs.
So how long did it take for you to hear back from the scholarship team, right?
Yeah. So first I got the offer, and second, the moment I got the offer, we have to pass some
English exam.
So English requirements exam. So once you have that, and like it's sorted out. After that, I was figuring out. So I also applied. So parallelly, I also applied for the scholarship. I got the scholarship as well. So since I was not very clear that is this the right time for me to do a master's or not, so I asked the scholarship committee that whether they can defer my scholarship or not. But unfortunately, you can defer your admit, but you cannot defer your scholarship.
Right.
So because of also some personal reasons, I wanted to defer my admit for maybe work for a few more years. But the scholarship committee was like,
they have their budgets which they
not budget, but it's a rule that
you don't
we cannot like
hold your scholarship.
Yeah, we cannot hold your seat.
Correct.
There are many more students who are meritorious and they need money.
So for scholarship, you had to write an essay, or you had to write why you want, or it's just academics? They just ask for documents and
no. So it was all academic documents, and it was more about giving documents and more about giving your the transcripts and the other financial documents were there. And yeah, then you have to give your university letter that you have an unconditional offer. Then they check with the university. So this kind of they have the collaboration with the university,
Correct.
like, or they speak to the universities or the
Whether-
top university, QS ranking universities, and they have some collaboration.
Okay, and then they
That's
pay directly to them.
And they pay this. So they have phase. For example, for the people who want to start their courses in September, so they have a phase in July, August.
Okay,
So I applied in that phase.
okay.
Yeah.
So July, August you applied, and when did you get feedback?
So I got the scholarship result within a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So within a month I had the result of the scholarship. That I also had the offer and the scholarship offer as well.
Okay.
So now the idea was, so my idea was to somehow find a loophole in the system and like try to get a deferral for a year.
Okay.
So I got it. So I could have got the deferral for the admit,
but
but I could
for
not got the
universities usually are
yeah. So
fair and they
Yeah,
do
yeah.
defer.
Yeah.
Of course, scholarship they would.
yeah.
want
So
to-
I had to go continue my entrepreneurial journey, like where I was working.
Does
so-
the scholarship come with some conditions that you need to return back to India, and like some scholarships do have?
Yeah. So that's the most, I think I would say the best part is that my scholarship does not ask me to come back
Okay.
to India.
Nice.
So they like
Nice.
make the best use out of this,
Correct.
make the best for your career,
Right.
and make sure you be a great ambassador for your nation,
Nice.
which I am trying to be.
No, that's great. Which did you only apply for the Swami Vivekanand scholarship, or did you apply for some?
No, I
other?
was looking for other scholarship as well.
Did you apply for the Chevening? Yeah.
No, so actually the main issue was, so
The deadlines would have passed.
yeah, the deadline was over. So as I told you earlier, that I had no plans of coming for masters this year.
Correct.
So maybe God had a different plan for me. So
Right.
that's how my friend, like I was speaking to my friend and he just reached out to me. He's like, Darshan, there's a deadline next 2 days. Why don't you just apply?
Right.
I think things just fell in place. I got the offer. I parallelly applied for scholarship. I got the scholarship offer as well. The scholarship was not ready to defer.
Correct.
So it was like,
I know.
so everyone like,
But anyways, whatever happens for good.
Yeah,
Now,
whatever
now
happens,
that you're
happens for
here,
good.
I'm sure you're enriching and enjoying the course.
yes, 100%.
You're
So
making good connections. So, tell me, Darshan, what's the future plan? What future lies for you? Are you planning to look and so
Yeah.
what's on charts?
So the idea is the idea has always been that जहाँ जन्मे हैं वही मरेंगे. So want to die in India. So that's why I would say I would try to, so since I have the opportunity, so I will take the exposure and try to work. For example, in our course, there's something called as the placement project in the term 3. So in the term 3, I'll be working with the European Investment Bank. It's like the investment bank for the European Union. We'll be working with the European Investment Bank Institute. The institute thinks that how can we deploy philanthropic money and derive public value out of it. So we are trying to rethink that strategy, and we're trying to think that how can we implement their whole strategy. So the headquarters in Luxembourg. So I'll be working for 2 months with that institute.
Okay.
So as of now, I have no idea what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm figuring out,
Right.
trying to build relationships, meaningful relationships, connections, and trying to learn from their journeys and trying to figure out that what should be my life 2.0 will be after this course.
Right.
So I'm trying to find out that.
How are the job opportunities in your sector here in the UK?
Yeah. So MPA is like an MBA for public sector. So it's like there's no. So as an MPA student, you can like open. Your careers are open to public sector and private sector as well. The focus is primarily on the development sector or the policy space and development space.
Your sector where you're more
Exactly.
inclined towards and
More
hunt for opportunities in that sector. And I'm sure there is ample of work to do in all of these sectors that define society.
Exactly. And the idea is that I always have this belief that try to work on bigger problems, right?
Okay, so any advices you would want to give to students who are applying to come to UK, especially UCL? And correct me if I'm wrong, right? So you've studied SSC board, then you went to HR, studied your commerce. HR is a college reputable in Mumbai, 6.5 GPA. And from there, you worked for a year or two and then applied to UCL, got through, applied for scholarships. Couple of them, you were late, but you
No, I
went
only
through.
applied to the scholarship.
Only
because
one.
the deadlines were passed here.
Okay, so only one scholarship, you got it.
Yeah.
Applied to one university, you got it. Applied to one scholarship, you got it. So what would your advice be to students who are coming now to UK, and any hacks or anything specific that you think you would want to give them?
Okay, so one of my hobby is to give advice and not follow it myself.
That's all of us.
Okay, yeah, but yeah. So I would say the probability of getting a human life is 400 trillion to 1. Only aspire to work with best people and do meaningful stuff. So I would say, I would suggest, recommend and motivate students to apply for the best of the institutions. So, like for example, if we see Silicon Valley in United States today, so whenever you are within a strong ecosystem or strong communities, you do meaningful stuff and you do good stuff. Right. So I would say try to find the best ecosystem and penetrate them. Don't apply to university just for the sake of getting a master's or just for the sake of going for a master's. Just because your neighbor is going or just because your alumni, your undergrad seniors were going for a master's or something like that.
If you were to change something, go back in time a year and change something, would you want to change something, or you're very happy you're in like a perfect zone right now?
Oh, no. I would not like to change anything. I think I have a beautiful story to tell my grandchildren, even if the story would have stopped today. So yeah, I think things are meant to happen in a particular way. And when you look back, you connect the dots, right? So I think it's a staying by Steve Jobs, right?
Right. So it was nice connecting with you. Nice talking to you. I'm sure even afterwards we'll be, in touch and we'll have great conversations about
100%.
the spiritual side, as you mentioned. Thanks for joining us for this episode of TSS. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure of sharing it with other students and leave us a comment. Your feedback helps us continue to provide valuable content to students everywhere. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world around you. Thank you.